You got this. Did they text a code to get the Q&A?
It has a little number that they text on the bottom.
On the bottom?
That's running right now.
And that's how they do it. They text it. Okay. And you'll wave to me when we have one? Okay.
You're good whenever. Switch over.
All right, I just got the thumbs up from our digital producer, Haley, which means we are now live with you on our streaming services, WNEP Plus, YouTube, and our Facebook pages. Thank you so much for joining us here on this important update as far as our severe weather that could be on the way. I know some of you, if you live in Pike County or Monroe County, you dealt with thunderstorms earlier today, and now you've got the sunshine, a big change by comparison to earlier, but we're not done with the wet and possibly severe weather. It's on the way for this evening. Between 9 and midnight, we could have some more severe storms rolling in from the south. And those of you in Schuylkill County, I think that's where, if anything is going to blossom, that's where it would be. So I want to get right into the weather forecast here and give you an update on what you could expect for this upcoming evening. So here it is close up. We've already picked up about a few tenths of an inch of rain across the area, but I want you to really pay close attention to Pike County. See that stripe of yellow? That is over an inch of rain, and that happened within a span of an hour with those severe thunderstorms that rolled through Pike County between, I'd say, 11 and 12:30 this afternoon. We got more rainfall on the way. There have been downpours pretty much for the past 3 hours in Clinton and Lycoming counties, up through Potter, Tioga, and Bradford counties. Let's get a closer look at Bradford and Tioga counties. Wellsboro, just to the west of Wellsboro, seeing a little bit of a downpour there. Canton seeing quite a downpour, but none of these are thunderstorms. You don't see any of those lightning icons. I'm going to bring you out to New England. Look at this long line of thunderstorms from Maine all the way down to the Hudson Valley. Look at all the lightning strikes. Now that is severe weather. When you see all the lightning strikes popping up, that's how you know it's severe. You see all those little storm clouds. Those are indications of hail possibly within the storm. And those gold colored boxes, those are severe thunderstorm warnings, and the purple are severe thunderstorm watches. Now that is severe weather. Not going to impact us. That's what already came through Pike County earlier today. Now it's headed towards the east. But look down towards our south. Do you see those lightning strikes up near Maryland and headed into the Harrisburg region? That's headed towards us. You notice those green arrows indicating that general northeasterly flow. There is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for the most southern counties in Pennsylvania, so Franklin, Adams, York County. But I could see these severe thunderstorm watch boxes extended into Schuylkill County if we continue to see these storms hold on to their energy that they have right now. They're discrete storms, meaning that they're isolated, not a big line like what you saw in New England, but nonetheless, discrete storms can cause localized damage and flooding as far as winds. Now, some of these storms that are right now on that border, hugging the border of Maryland and Pennsylvania, those have reported an inch in diameter of hailstones. So those are damaging, of course, and winds over 60 miles per hour. So just be careful and know that these storms are kind of looming on our horizon, and they could roll in by 10, 11, 12 o'clock tonight. Here's the bigger picture. We've got a low pressure system up in New England, but I want you to look at the swirling going on there in Illinois. You notice that swirl? That's a secondary low pressure system that is going to develop along that cold front and bring us more wet weather, not just for Sunday, but also for Monday, Tuesday, and even in a part of Wednesday. So there's a live view at Wilkes-Barre. We've got sunshine warming things up. Now, when you have sunshine in between storms, that can help to destabilize the atmosphere. The more warming you have, the more rising there is, and the more energy there can be in the atmosphere to support strong storms. So we've got the warmth, we've got the sunshine in Wilkes-Barre. This is the live look right now from our rooftop camera. Beautiful sunshine, and notice almost all of those trees with leaves on them once again. Nice sight to see, but I'm sure that you pollen sufferers are definitely feeling the pain when it comes to the sneezing, because I've been taking my allergy meds all week. But we got clear skies ahead and above, and that's helping to warm things up and destabilize the atmosphere too. Now, I did want to tell you, we're doing something different here during this live stream. We have a question and answer possibility, meaning that you can text your questions into the number that's scrolling on the bottom of the screen, and I can answer them for you live, which is a really cool capability to have. So if you have any questions while I talk and something comes up that you're thinking about, feel free to text it to us, and I'll have our digital producer, Haley, read it out to me so that I can answer it for you. All right, let's continue on with the forecast here. It's currently 72 degrees. We've got temperatures definitely warm enough. Notice the humidity bordering on that downright muggy level at near 60%. So a lot of moisture in place, a lot of warmth in place. That helps to fuel storms. And today's high temperatures across the area in the low 70s, even mid 70s for Selinsgrove. Temperatures still in the mid 70s there for parts of the Susquehanna Valley. We're touching near 80 in Auburn. Much cooler, though, up in the northern tier, only in the 40s and 50s. Did you see that? I'm going to go back because I want you to see that. Look at Mansfield right now, 49 degrees. That's because it's been raining all night. Well, all afternoon, I should say. And that's another thing. I like to take some liberty during these streaming forecasts to give you some meteorology expertise. When you have rain happening for such a long time with a long cloud, a very tall cloud high in the atmosphere, those raindrops bring down cooler air from the higher levels of the atmosphere and bring it down to the surface. And it's called a rain pool air, cooled air. Sometimes it's called a gust front because that cold air surges out of the cloud and creates almost like a wind in front of the storm. And sometimes you might have experienced that yourself. So anyway, all this cold air is coming out from the upper levels of the atmosphere and cooling things down at the surface up in the northern tier where it is currently raining. And that's why it's only 49 degrees up there, whereas it's 78 in Auburn, and definitely more conducive for severe weather as we head into the rest of the evening. So here's your impact for tomorrow. I know there's a lot of things going on. We're talking about the Tulip Festival. We're talking about second weekend at Knoebels. There's all kinds of festivals happening. Cherry blossoms are blooming all over the place. I know you want to spend time outdoors. It's a beautiful, beautiful time of year. But you got to be prepared on Sunday. Could be some impacts, especially in the morning and into the early afternoon. Primarily between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. I think we could have some of our heaviest downpours, but at least we could salvage some of the afternoon and into the late part of the afternoon and early evening. So here's how I see things. Now, this is the timestamp at 5 o'clock right now showing more activity than what we're actually seeing. So this model not initializing all that close to reality. But what could become reality is what happens closer to 9 o'clock. Notice those storms. Remember, they're down on the Maryland-Pennsylvania border. They could make their way into the southern tier, into the Susquehanna Valley by 9, 10, 11 o'clock, and maybe still hold on to those severe capabilities. And by the time they make their way towards the Valley cities, still some downpours, but maybe not enough severe potential. Headed into the rest of the evening, that's when things start to wrap up. Past midnight, we only have some light showers, and so tomorrow morning also light showers. Tomorrow afternoon, maybe some more pops of red, orange, yellow, downpours, lightning strikes. Maybe not severe, but still nonetheless enough to ruin your outdoor plans. But notice what happens after 3:30. We start to dry out somewhat. So we can still salvage some of the later portion of the afternoon and into the early evening. Just make sure that you have those rain boots on if you're going to a farm or something like that, because it will be muddy. Then headed into Monday, we keep things cloudy, but not all that rainy, which is good. As far as the next 24 hours of rainfall, we'll probably pick up about 1 inch to 1.5 inches, maybe close to 2 inches if you get caught in one of those really, really strong downpours. And there's the severe risk. Notice the stripe of yellow across parts of the Susquehanna Valley into the Valley cities, down towards the southern tier. That's our risk of severe weather tonight. Because those storms are knocking on the doorstep of Pennsylvania, they could make their way into parts of our southern counties, southern and eastern counties, and cause some issues for tonight. We're talking between 9 p.m. and midnight. That's when we could have the high winds, maybe some hailstones coming out of the cloud, and can't even rule out a brief tornado. So we're going to be tracking these storms very closely as they make their way closer to us and see if they hold on to those same levels of strength that we're seeing right now. As far as Monday, keeping things primarily cloudy and maybe a drizzle in the morning, but pretty dry until the evening hours when more showers and storms spark up, and those could last throughout the evening on your Monday. Tuesday looks like another messy, wet day with showers and storms abound as this low pressure system, remember the one that was just gaining shape there in Illinois? Well, it lingers over us for 3 days straight and brings us a risk for rainfall Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So here's your 7-day forecast so you can plan the rest of your week. Maybe you have something planned for next weekend. I think it's a better weekend than what we're having right now. We don't expect any rainfall for at least Saturday, maybe Sunday, some raindrops possible. We do have a question, it looks like. Haley's letting me know. But before I tell you what that question is, I did want to just finish up that 7-day forecast. Remember, tonight, a little bit of an issue. Tomorrow, morning and afternoon, wet, evening, kind of dry. Into your day on Monday, also kind of dry until the evening. Tuesday, showers and storms. Wednesday, Exiting showers and storms, clearing out for the afternoon. Thursday, Friday look good. Here's our question, and Haley's going to let me know who this came from right afterwards. It says, how are the thunderstorms that are coming towards Wayne County, Pennsylvania? How severe are they expected to be? Well, right now, they do have the capability of becoming severe enough to cause wind gusts 50, 60 miles per hour and hailstones the size of pea to quarter. So again, this is an issue for this evening. If you're planning on having outdoor evening activities, I'd maybe hold off until tomorrow evening, but you can always use our WNEP interactive radar on our WNEP Plus app to see when those storms are going to come to you. Now, we'll have more updates on WNEP at 6 and 7, and of course at 10 and 11, and as they come through those storms, I'll be tracking them for you. So maybe if you want to do a barbecue tonight and you don't know if those storms are going to make it into your area just yet, tune in at 6 and 7 and see if they're still on the same track for that time frame from 9 to 12. But yeah, they could have enough energy in them to cause high winds and even some small hail. And again, we cannot rule out the possibility of a brief tornado or two. There is enough wind shear, that's the conflicting winds in different levels of the atmosphere, to cause the twist necessary to spark up a tornado. So although it hasn't happened yet, doesn't mean it can't, so we'll be tracking those very carefully. Now, Haley, who did that come from? I wanted to thank them for their question. No answer from who it came from. Okay, well, thank you for sending that in, whoever did send it in. I assume you're a resident of Wayne County. We appreciate the fact that you're engaging with us so that we can engage with you. All right, so that finishes up our live stream. Let's give you a closer look at that 7-day forecast once again. There it is. Problems for tonight. Problems for tomorrow morning and afternoon, problems for Monday evening, but there can be dry periods in between. And I'm going back to, just to show you one last thing here, I want to show you our current radar. There it is. And there are those storms. Once again, we're under a severe thunderstorm watch outside of our area. We're talking about south of Harrisburg, but I can even zoom in on them for you right now. Look at some of these storms. See all the lightning strikes? See those reds and pinks near Martinsburg and Boonesboro? That's in northern Maryland. Those storms have the potential to produce not just lightning and thunder, of course, but hail and high winds. And that can not just ruin your day, but be dangerous too. So just be on the lookout. We're going to continue to keep you updated on our WNEP channel 16 and of course WNEP 2 at 10. We appreciate the fact that you tuned in here on our streaming service. We always want to make sure you're updated and really up to the latest minute about what's to come your way. That's why we issue weather impact alerts and we do these streaming pieces so that you're prepared and ready to go for what you need to do in your day. So thanks again for joining us here. I'm Meteorologist Jeremy Lewan. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Be careful for those storms that are coming between 9 and 12, and we'll have more updates on WNEP at 6 o'clock.